Um, let's go to the Hawks because the Hawks have a ton of injuries as well.
Everyone.
Bogdan Bogdanovic is out. Daniil Hunter is out. Dyson Daniels is out. And this Hawks team, man, I know, without DeJounte Murray, the expectation was like, bro, there might be some like sleepers on this team. And I think we've seen
Hmm.
spurts of the Dyson Daniels. We've seen Daniil Hunter kind of step it up this year. But it's like now all these guys are hurt. You got a bunch of wings guard play that's out. And, this team is not going to be a team that's competitive by any standpoint. Like, this is going to be a team probably projected for another top 5 pick this season.
Ooh,
Um,
hot take.
what's your thoughts on this situation for the Hawks? Like, is there anybody you see stepping up? Do you think this gets better for them at any point here? Like, talk to me how you feeling.
I mean, I think it's convenient that all of their wing players seem to have gotten hurt and they drafted a wing first overall. So, hey, man, it's Zaccharie Risacher season, I guess. He played 35 minutes last game, 17.6 boards, had 3 stocks. I mean, I'm intrigued. And if we're talking about like if DeAndre Hunter's not coming back immediately, he's not ready to play. Dyson Daniels isn't ready to play. He's still going through a groin injury. Someone else has got to get that work besides Trae Young and Jalen Johnson. And I think that Risacher, in the preseason, he had several different moments of, I saw his potential as a creator. He's pretty good in the open floor and transition. If he gets 35 minutes a night, I'm curious. So, if you're looking for somebody on the wing I mean, he's shown the last 4 games that he's able to play defensively. Like he's gotten at least 2 stocks in 3 of his last 4 games. He's put in numbers in all the stat sheets. So like I'd be curious to pick him up in points leagues for that reason. And if his volume consistently comes with that, efficiency, he could be someone that you could add in category leagues too. Right now he's at 26% rostered, so may not be out there in 12-team competitive leagues, but just look at the schedule. It might pay off.
Yeah, Ricochet, it's with rookies it's tough because we get sometimes where they break out early and then they're over the course of the
Rookie
year they kind of get a
wall.
little stagnant.
Hmm.
And this team, while they're hunting, for wins, obviously, like this, they want to see what they have too. Like in this Trae Young, Johnson, and Ricochet pairing, I'm sure they're
Hmm.
trying to see what their future looks like with those guys.
Hmm.
Because Daniil Hunter has been, player, he hasn't been able to stay on the floor, unfortunately. Bogdan Bogdanovic, a veteran, we know that's a complimentary piece. And Dyson Daniels obviously had some additional opportunity. They traded for him. Well, he was in the trade with DeJounte Murray, but you start to think like maybe he does as the season goes on. They do give him additional minutes even after these guys get back, and maybe he works himself into a much bigger role. So I don't know how long he's going to be under 25% roster. Like to me, that doesn't seem
Yeah.
right. But then also, like as the season goes on, is this a guy that improves his play? Is this a guy that gets comfortable in his body and now realizes, okay, I am a threat here, and now takes on a different role as the number 1 pick in the draft? So I just look at this overall and I'm like, you know, sometimes with rookies, I think it's easy to give up on them early when they don't produce, or it's easy to just say they're a rookie, they're going to go through growing pains. But this has all the makings of like a player that could be really valuable down the stretch, in my opinion, for us.
Yeah, and I think the one of the more commonly known things with the Hawks is that they've been trying to move Clint Capella and DeAndre Hunter for years. And this injury, I mean, DeAndre Hunter was the starting small forward here. You drafted the number 1 overall pick for a reason. This is actually giving, I think you were spot on with that. It's like, let's see what our future actually holds. Now you got the opportunity to put the number 1 pick into a situation where he's getting real life experience. I think this actually could be a case where he plays well enough and that forces the Hawks' hand to be like, yo, we'll find a place for DeAndre. We may not be looking for the best deal out there because honestly, what's DeAndre Hunter's market anyway?
Yeah.
Like, I think we know kind of where he fits in as like an NBA pro at this point. There's no like hidden upside with him. So like I think at some point it might just force the Hawks hand and be like, yo, we drafted the right person at number 1 overall. Let's let him cook. Maybe they see some early results and some wins. And then it's like, okay, let's bring DeAndre back slowly while Bogey comes back. We get Dyson Daniels back in the fold, and then you look like you have a whole different team. Yeah, I just never really been into DeAndre Hunter as a fantasy asset. He's usually just
Yeah.
a points and threes guy.
Yep.
And so I actually see more upside in seeing, where Ricochet can actually go now that he's actually given the time to shine.
Yeah, it's weird because like Daniil Hunter in DeAndre Hunter in category leagues, he tends to do well, like the efficiency stuff. He doesn't turn the ball over a whole lot,
Yeah.
shoots good field goal, free throw percentage, points and threes. So it's kind of like a player that's like an underrated player, I would say. He's just not somebody you typically check for, but he's probably, I mean, if he comes back and Risacher plays well, he's probably going right back to the bench.
He's going to the bench. Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know how you can't just put the number 1 overall pick back on the bench, especially if you're winning too. Like, we'll see how if they can create some wins. But
real quick, what about David Roddy? Obviously, a player who we saw towards the end of the season last year for Memphis, play really well on the Atlanta Hawks. Now, I don't know that he's anything more than a deep league guy, but is he somebody that you're intrigued in at all as far as like a deep league pickup?
I mean, I like the minutes. I'd probably be more interested in Larry Nance Jr. Just being as we've seen Onyeka Okongwu and Clint Capella kind of get periodic rest days, and maybe it's a little injury things. But I mean, we know how good Larry Nance is. Whenever he plays, 15 to 20 minutes, he'll give you stocks. He can shoot threes. He rebounds well on a permanent basis. So I'd probably be more interested in Larry Nance than David Roddy. I was picking up Roddy in like a 30 deep league the other day. I was surprised to see him there. That's how like thirsty the waiver wire is over there. If I'm like, oh shit, we got David Roddy. Let's go. Like,
it's
bro,
bad right now, bro.
It's